Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our customer experience webinar today. I am Chris from the FinTech Partner Success team. We have some awesome speakers we'll hear from today. But before we get going, just wanted to remind everyone of our FinTech Winter Summit taking place on November 11th at 9 a.m. Hope to see you all there. And now we have a presentation from one of our partners at Citizens Bank, Beth Johnson. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Beth to kick it off with our keynote.
Hi, everyone. Great to see you. I am doing my screen sharing here, so hopefully this works for us. Thank you for having me. Thanks for everybody from Plug and Play for inviting me to speak. We do want to make this an interactive discussion, so if you have questions, please put them in the question box, and I will attempt to try to answer them as well. Oh, no, I think I messed up the screen, so apologize for that. Let me see if I can somehow. There we go. And then we'll just jump right in. So just to introduce myself a little to all of you and why they asked me to speak with you today. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Citizens. And what that really means is how do we think about building the capabilities for citizens for the future that are going to enable us to think about how we grow and win in a rapidly changing landscape of what I will call banking, but really about how people manage their financial lives and how they think about money. And when I start to talk about these things, the first topic I really want to harp on is we talk a lot about purpose and why banks are important with our colleagues and with our customers. But when it comes right down to it, the way I think about a bank and the role that Citizens play and the role that our partners play with as fintechs as others is really helping people or companies manage their money. And that money is very personal for them and it's very emotional. And that can be both in the everyday things they buy. So when I want to have my money work and be there for me because I need to get gas or I need to buy my groceries and I need to understand my balance, that's about your money and that's very personal. And we've had comments from customers that are working with us when that doesn't go well, just how devastating it can be. Or it can be about managing my money when I'm trying to think about how do I save for my children to go to college. And that's something I'm aware of right now. I have 2 daughters and we're thinking about education. We're right in the application process for college as we speak. Or it can be about buying a house. How do I think about the pride I have the first time I buy a home, or if I want to update my kitchen. And so when we talk about what we do at Citizens and we talk about money and we talk about the role all of us play and our partners and some of you on the phone, it's really about satisfying that basic need of our customers. And I think what's really important to remember in banking is that we have to do that every day. We have to do it in a way that's not product focused and that we have to do it in a way that's very experiential. And that's different. This is a picture of one of Citizens bankers. That's different than how it was even 5, 10, 15 years ago. Banking was a pretty easy industry for a very long time. It was about having great people and great locations and having great bankers or great advisors in wealth or great relationship managers in commercial, and actually being able to deliver products and services and meet the needs of those customers. And that's just fundamentally changed from what we've seen today. And so today we see it being much more about multi-channel, multi-experiential. And when I think about my team, and I'll get into this slide in a second here, but what I'm really doing to help build those disruptive capabilities to tap into that emotion of our customers is I lead 5 different groups at Citizens. So our digital teams. So how do we think about digital design, development, that new channel that's become so important and everly increasing importance for our customers? It's about our data and analytics capabilities, and that's in the middle there that you see. But how are we building those capabilities around data and analytics that's going to enable us to offer personalized solutions in multiple channels that are highly relevant for our customers? It's also enterprise payments. So I focus a lot on our enterprise payments capabilities at Citizens, huge area of disruption. Also, from a technology perspective, the move towards real time dramatically impacting how we think about payments. And then our marketing capabilities, our marketing and communications capabilities for Citizens. I actually think when we look at this slide, we talk a lot about, as bankers, as fintechs, as people who work and support the industry, as true digital transformation happening, whether that's with our customers, front end or back end. We talk a lot about, and people I know on the phone here probably get excited about emerging technologies that are happening and how we do leverage things in artificial intelligence and advanced analytics in real time, as I talked about. But I actually think almost the greatest area of change that I've seen in my career over the last decade or so has been on the marketing and brand side. Brand is becoming increasingly important to our customers and how they tap into that emotion and that experience for Citizens. And that's about your brand reputation. So do I think that not only do you have good products and services that can help me, but are you a great member of the community? Are you someone that cares about the topics I care about around diversity, equity, and inclusion, or the environment? Do I believe you'll be there for me during good times and bad times, because I want your brand to be a partner with me? And what content can you give me, right? What information are you going to give me that's highly relevant to me, and in what channels at what time that it matters? And so all those different things, I think you're seeing this tremendous disruption in the industry away from something that was very people, in my shorthand, people oriented to start towards this whole new way of tapping into that emotion and experience of our customers. And so my job at Citizens is to really help prepare us to do that and prepare us to disrupt in the teams that work with me. And when this was actually a picture the team put up. They claim that's me in the middle, but it was about how then do you think about customer experience and innovation? If we're going to tap into that changing universe, and we're going to tap into new ways of operating for our customers, it's going to have to be highly innovative, but it's going to be innovative based on customer experience and customer journey. So how do we think about not only how we're communicating on the front end with our customers, but supporting them through our back end channels as well, through our physical, through our digital, and making sure that that customer experience and innovation truly is holistic and goes hand in hand. And so I thought it made sense to jump into some examples of how we think about that at Citizens, and what we're developing in-house, what we're developing externally. How do we think about partnering with fintechs? What tools do we use, et cetera? And we really think about it on a couple of dimensions. We focus on how do we get the basics right every time, and be there when it really matters for our customers, as said. And then how do we have those delight experiences when it really matters? And you're going to hear from some startups later. So I thought I'd talk about one that we're actually partnering with now on some of those journeys, and how we leverage fintechs, and we think about it, and we think about that differentiation. So on our consumer side of the business, when I think about what's going to differentiate experiences in the future from our customers, across different banks, different financial services providers, or different fintechs that are going direct to the end consumer, it really is about that personal insight. And can we provide something that's highly relevant for our customers through simple tools like the mobile app right now? I think is the digital tool that everybody would say is mobile first in our environment, and be able to do it better than anybody else. We also recognize that that's not something Citizens of a bank our size is going to be able to do completely on our own. So we've been doing a lot of investment in data architecture, in our analytics capabilities, really over the last 5 to 7 years, And we're very proud of our ability to offer personalized insight to our customers from an offer perspective, from some content perspective. But we need to do more. We need more curricula. We need more things to say to our customers. We want it to be proven. We want to leverage the insights that a partner can bring to us. So Personetics, who you're going to hear from later, I believe we are talking and working with them right now on launching a capability for our clients that both integrates what Citizens can build in-house to think about digital insights and a dashboard and enable customers to better meet their needs. But also being able to rely on a partner that's already proven that they have some capabilities in the space that can accelerate us getting to market and adding value for our customers. And in this case, we're very focused on return. So it's important for, I think, each partner we have to realize that when I bring a potential partnership as part of our digital experience, our head of digital and I have to talk about, well, what is this going to get us as a business? Not just our engagement metrics going to lift, is our NPS going to improve, net promoter score, but will we see incremental balance growth? Are we likely to see an increase in retention, an increase in benefit from our customers over time? So I can turn it back to some very specific financial benefits for Citizens and ultimately benefits for our shareholders as well as benefits for our customers. So just a good example of how we want to partner across a journey as we think about building those capabilities for Citizens. And I think a lot of banks are thinking this way. A second great example from Citizens is our Citizens Pay offering. So all of you may not realize, but Citizens has actually been a leader in the buy now, pay later space. We were the bank that started working with Apple to finance the Apple iPhone upgrade program. So if you go into an Apple store and you finance your cell phone, your iPhone through the store, it's actually Citizens that's doing the back end powering when you're able to get an upgrade every year, every 2 years. And some of the capabilities there. We've been able to leverage that into a pretty unique experience in buy now, pay later at Citizens. So we work with Microsoft through a variety of channels, including Amazon when you want to get your Xbox or your subscription that goes with the Xbox to do game playing. We also work with some others you see down here at the bottom around the fitness equipment or Peloton. We buy some of their loans as well. And I think BJ's, which is a wholesaler in the Northeast, is probably the most interesting new win that Citizens has in the space because it's truly multi-channel. So what a bank can bring to a space like this, well, maybe we don't have the same, the same excitement as some of the fintech players. We actually are able to bring a truly multi-channel experience for those customers. So we're able to both enable online purchasing as well as purchasing in the store through a simple QR code. BJ's was very concerned with our analytic capabilities to be able to support this offering. And we have more flexibility because we actually can offer a variety of different financing capabilities or partnerships where BJ's customers can leverage into other products we have, like student lending, like other places. So it's been a pretty effective partnership. But by the way, we also don't build the whole thing ourselves end to end. So there are places where we're partnering with fintech solution providers in different verticals or along different pieces of the value chain to be able to offer the best integrated full solution for our customers and for BJ's as our customer, but also for the end user. So really thinking about both customers, the merchant itself, as well as the end user. So just a really good example is how at Citizens, we think about building these true experiential differentiators for our customers, and then recognizing where do we want to invest and innovate, and where do we bring in others to partner and help us invest and innovate as well. One of the roles I have and our team has at Citizens is actually to make it easier for our fintech partners to partner with us. So how do we start to build the capabilities with our technology teams around APIs? And do we make it easier to have experiences that can plug into the Citizens ecosystem? We have what we call Green Pixel Studios. It's a design team that manages, it's our own UX UI practice. It manages our design system. So how do we continue to make, have standards that make it easier for our teams internally to develop for Citizens, but also partners that we may have. We also are in charge of helping with some of the tools and processes. So, how do we think about our analytics and our data ecosystems and content management systems and other systems that may make it easier for partners to plug into? So, we're actively managing that and we're actively thinking about it so that we can be more effective as partners. We're at the same time we're looking for fintechs and others to come in and work with us. By the way, like any bank, speaking to all of you, it's a work in progress. So I won't say we're all the way there, but I think it's just really helpful to realize that there's sort of work being done on both sides to think about how do we speed up decision making? How do we think about partnering more effectively to be able to plug into the best of breed and innovate quickly? Because I think the real goal for Citizens is to innovate these great experiences for our customers and get them to market fast enough that they're a differentiation for us. Just quickly on this page, just gives you a sense. We have a lot of different fintech partnerships across Citizens, and we're constantly looking for new partnerships to plug in with, to test, to learn, and to work with. Some are in pilot, some are launching, some have launched, but we'll continue to iterate over time. I do like to say this is about, can you test and learn quickly and figure out where you scale? And scaling is so important. So there was a great example of a company, I won't name them here, but a fintech I was really excited for on leveraging AI tools in customer communications to be very personal and not what you say to a customer, but how you say it and what resonates the most with any particular customer base. What we actually learned is our customer base at the time, we're getting closer now, wasn't big enough to really power the tool. There weren't enough data points for the AI to learn in a way that could extract the value and that return on investment that we wanted from that partnership. So we are looking for how do we test, learn, and scale if it makes sense, but pretty quickly decide where we will scale or where we won't scale. You really needed, you needed those tens of millions of customers. We're in the sort of 7 or 8 million customer range, for example, to make that work. And so, these are my 3 takeaways, but I did want to make sure we had some time for questions, which I will try to figure out how I pull up on the screen here. But when I think about the world and I think about what's happening and I think about kind of the space that I'm involved in banking and what we're trying to do at Citizens, just a couple of things again as a takeaway. One, I think we should never forget, it's not about cool technology. Banking isn't about cool products. It's not even about being the best at what you do. It really is about, can you be the best at tapping into that emotional and those personal experiences that our customers have when they think about their money. And it's funny, sometimes people talk to me about, writing a check or some pretty basic things, but we're only writing those checks or we're doing different things. I try never to write a check, by the way, but we're only transferring money or we're paying for something because we want to accomplish an end game that we have a purpose for and a reason for. I do think in the banking world, I used the word earlier that we started with people, but you guys should just keep in mind that I would tell you most of the executives at my level across the banking space are all really working hard on changing mindsets and changing behavior and changing cultures to a more digital world, a more analytically empowered world, a more world, as I said, around brand and addressable markets. But there is a firm culture around people. And so a lot of work to do to not only have people understand the theory of how things are changing, but what does that mean in practice for how people in our industry have to behave differently? I think the winners will all be companies that can get there, but there still is just a lot of ingrained thinking over time on this very people-based culture, which is something that's evolving and changing. And I think partnerships can help us to push our thinking and push us further and faster. And then that finally links to that, the last time there, where I do believe that winners will think about tapping into those customer needs, both from what they build themselves, but how they partner and how they also allow new entrants to kind of push the thinking and shape the industry and move us. I do think it's important for everybody that focuses, though, on financial services to recognize that while we're doing all that, it is in a highly regulated industry. So sometimes I feel the frustration. It was my frustration when I moved to banking 7 or 8 years ago, that just how important that role of the regulators and that role of what we have to think about. And we're starting to see that right into more of the big tech players. I think the CFPB just came out and said that they're going to start to regulate some of the fintech and tech players in banking. That actually does play an important role in the whole ecosystem and having those strong controls in place. And that's just a little bit of a watch out. So with there, I will pause on this and hopefully there were some questions that we can pull up on the Q&A as well to chat about. I urge you, I always think discussions are better than someone just chatting. Any questions from the group on the phone?
Might be one in the chat here.
Oh, in the chat, because you guys said the Q&A. Oh, yeah, okay. So there is a question that asks about our AI and our analytics capabilities. So do you currently have initiatives to leverage more on cognitive and behavioral science to operationalize the personal and emotional aspects of CX? So we do. So I am, by the way, I maybe should have given a little bit of my background. I don't know if you guys had a bio. So I actually was a math major undergrad and worked in interest rate derivatives for a number of years. And so I'm really a math geek at heart. And I just happened a couple of years ago to get asked to do some marketing stuff along the way, which I think is fascinating and is actually very mathy at heart. But we are looking to use AI in a variety of ways across the business, both from a customer experience perspective, as well as personalization and other areas within the bank around bots, around natural language processing. So I think there's huge opportunities in banks to better leverage machine learning and AI, both from a operations standpoint as well as a customer experience standpoint. Interestingly enough, one of the things I often have to do with my peers as we're testing out new kinds of AI or machine learning is make sure they realize that these things aren't like you plug them in, you don't have to understand the black box, and you flip a switch and it all works. So one, we are we're very particular that we're not going to put a black box kind of AI into Citizens ecosystem without somebody who, a lot of people on my team or our risk team, that truly have the kinds of degrees and backgrounds to understand the black box, work with our partners to at least tell us what's in it. So we're comfortable that we're not doing anything we shouldn't be doing from a regulatory perspective. And then two, I think the other important thing that I work with my peers on as we partner on this is that most of these things, you don't flip a switch and it happens, right? The whole thing about machine learning is you have to have the time period to learn. And so, sometimes our finance team, particularly on an operational AI, will say, oh, let's put that AI in and you'll get $1 million of savings next month. And we're like, well, it usually doesn't work that way, right? It takes a little time. These things have to burn in, they learn. And then in the long time, you can be much more efficient or more effective with your customers or more operationally efficient. So we think about it that way a lot across the company. Now I've got questions in the chat and in the questions. So I'm gonna, Chris, you can probably help me, but I'll try to go back and forth a bit. I would say on what partners to work with, it's almost a three-legged stool. So we have our business units that we help source and have conversations with. We have obviously our digital team that I'm involved in our analytics teams. We have our technology teams. And what we really try to do is look for the partner solutions that are going to fit into our strategy or our experience we're trying to deliver. And I would say on a couple of different dimensions. One, can it accelerate it, right? And we can just do something better, faster for our customers that makes financial sense for us along those strategic priorities. Two, is it just something we don't have, right? So forget accelerate. It's just something, a capability we probably couldn't build in-house. And that can be important as well. And then three are their long-term partnership things to think about over time and how we see this building the business. So we really do think about this prioritization holistically. I think what's important to have all three legs of the stool, though, is sometimes find business people. We just did a demo day where we had a bunch of fintechs come in and talk to our wealth business, and by the way, they were all of them looked great, right? When you guys do a demo, they're all cool on the whole, not always, but I would say 80% of them are cool and look great. And what I thought the best part was is they were all saying, well, this is easy. We'll just plug into and this system, right? It was a content management system and then like two other CRM systems. And we don't have all those systems yet, right? To just plug into. So it's not that easy. But where it helps is when we go back to those investment decisions Citizens is making in platforms, to have our business people understand we have to invest in those platforms so we can plug into the fintechs we want to work with in all these cool ways that are going to be quick and easy. I just talked about Personetics. It's taken a little longer for some of the upside there than we would have liked. And that is an entirely Citizens fault because our data architecture and ecosystem had a few hiccups that we had to learn. Now the next time it'll work with their partnerships, but I need executives to help understand that we have to make some of those foundational investments for all the cool add-ons to work, if that makes sense. Somebody asked how important our mobile app is in the scheme of things. I mean, I think right now we're mobile first, right? Are we all the way there? No. Are we there from a strategic perspective? Yes. Now, when I want to say we're mobile first, it's not mobile only because we think obviously in-person interactions are important. Some people still go to online banking. Obviously, people call our contact center, but Citizens gets, I won't even get the number right. You're talking 800 plus million hits on our mobile app a month. And and nobody else is above, is even in the millions, right? A month in interaction. So the ability to interact with customers mobily is so much greater than any other channel right now. It has to be the primary channel that you interact with. But that's not mobile only, right? So, we use the phrase a mobile bank with a human touch because there are times you don't want it. But, and by the way, maybe mobile is going to go away in 5 years and it's the next thing. But right now, mobile is critically important. Yeah, I'll touch on one thing here, and Chris, you tell me when you're going to cut me off or help me get to some of the people who actually use the Q&A. But it is critically important for us to maintain our brand identity right now. So we are going to win in finance because we have a great brand for our customers, and our customers know that we're their primary bank, and they're working with us to win over time. That is true in commercial, where we're known for giving great advice to our customers and helping them through the downturn and the upturn. That's why you do things like treasury solutions, cash flow. There are a lot of partnerships out there right now, and we're investing in cash flow management tools. I mean, the way we will differentiate in the marketplace is being that primary bank for our customers, whether that's mid-market businesses or whether that's consumers. There are select cases, the iPhone upgrade program, I gave you that example, where our brand may be a secondary brand. But we are absolutely committed to investing in a strong brand and having Citizens be that primary banking relationship. And we frankly turned down some partnerships over time where that hasn't been the case. And so I think it's critically important that you continue to strengthen your brand. And we do that. I could probably spend 20 minutes on all the ways we think about that and all the ways we do that. So I won't go into the details here, but your brand is critical to you in the marketplace to be one of the winners long term.
Beth, a pretty interesting question. Do you look into behavioral and cognitive science in any way to better understanding how people relate to their financials?
Yeah, I think there are some complex ways to do that, and there are some really easy ways to do that. I'll give you an example that's not actually a Citizens example, but we're doing something similar. But when I first started looking into this was years ago, I was talking to someone from American Express in the card business, right? And they were talking about how likely you were to upgrade your card to platinum. And those of you who know Amex well, that's a $400, it might be $500 now card that you have to pay a fee for. What they found is your willingness to take that card went up dramatically after you had traveled. So it almost didn't even make sense to market to you, right? If you hadn't traveled because the payback wasn't there. So at Citizens, we're doing similar things. So we're looking into, are there trigger behaviors that I believe are going to indicate, now that's a marketing example, but there are other examples that are going to indicate your receptiveness to something, your need for something, the right time to talk to you about something, in order to think about how and what's relevant to you. So the simplest version, right, pre any kind of AI or any really complex version, is just those simple triggers that you can start to look at. Like I know Beth's daughter is now 17 and she's going to be applying to college. I should start sending her content about how to choose a school, right? Not only about how to finance a school. In COVID, we had some content around how to think about higher education during COVID, right? So that's a simple version of that. And then I think you can get more complex from a modeled, either advanced analytics or even moving into AI. And then, as I said, this one that didn't work for us was that on Uber, right? Which was, I forget now, but they had sort of 12 different personas, and based on your triggers and how you responded to things, what kind of language did you like? What color was the button that Beth respond to? All those things, I think you can do. And we do machine learning to think about whether or not you're more likely to like text or email for certain kinds of messages, for example, out there today.
Beth, another interesting question. How do you collect data about customer satisfaction? What data and methods do you use to understand how you're doing in the eyes of your customers?
Yeah, great question. So I'm a little bit, I was at Bain for a very long time, just to make sure, full disclosure here, before I came to Citizens. And one of the things I did at Bain was run the customer strategy and marketing practice for the Americas. Bain, for those of you who don't know, is where Net Promoter Score started and the whole Net Promoter system. So Fred Reichheld was a fellow partner of mine who literally wrote the book. So we sort of stolen some of that for Citizens, but then it continued to expand on it. So we are a Net Promoter shop from just a customer measurement perspective. We do surveys both regularly, but also transaction based. So when something happens to you, how do I get a survey and understand what that transaction meant? We do work with Medallia is the provider we picked. I can always go into detail why we chose them. But part is because they have a simple mobile tool. So I was able to put into the hands of other executives, sort of what we call Citizens Listens is our internal branding. And so every day I get a pop-up that says, here are 10 customer comments across the bank. If you're in one business, you'll get that business. And I can respond directly to a person who is involved in the interaction. Or in the case of digital, I just have all the information to know. And so we're very actively collecting and addressing and looking at customer feedback to try to make changes to the business going forward, or close the loop individually with specific customers.
Awesome. So I know we only have about 2 minutes left before we need to move on. So last question, is Citizens Bank seeing any customer demand to use cryptocurrencies? If so, how are you adapting?
Yeah, what a good question, right? And as part of my enterprise payments team, we're actually looking into this. I will say we're thinking about crypto on three general dimensions. The first is crypto as an asset class. And that's probably the simplest one. So do we have wealth clients who would like to hold crypto as part of their portfolio? And we leverage some of the, we leverage, there are sort of a couple different custodial players in the industry. I think we'll probably get there. We don't yet today, but I think we'll probably get there pretty soon, which is as those custodians and the people we work with offer crypto as an asset class, we'll offer crypto as an asset class. So that's kind of use case one. Use case two is crypto as a payment capability. And that's one we're keeping a close eye on how to think about that. What should we do? We do not offer it as a payment modality today, but our teams are very ear to the ground and thinking through what would be the time for that, or how would we do it if we were to do it. And then three, I kind of think about just blockchain. So how do we think about blockchain capabilities and distributed ledger capabilities holistically? And how do we test and learn enough around that today that we can start going live with real customer use cases that make sense for Citizens? It's actually kind of funny. We did our own blockchain use case in about a month. We did a pilot internally, and it was a team from payments, from technology, a couple of areas. And it was for, we give our employees, we talk about our credo is customers, colleagues, and communities. And when you do a good thing in the bank, someone can award you credo points or credo awards. And then you can redeem those for things like Citizens gear or other things. We built our own little credo currency. So we have, we haven't rolled it out yet, but it's actually fully operational and working in a way to just be able to test. How do we make sure we have the capability in-house? We know the right questions to ask. We know if we talk to anyone on the phone, if we were going to partner, what would it take? How would we do it? Do we have enough internal capability? So it was pretty cool. And as I said, it was a sort of 3 to 4 week effort, which demonstrated we can spin up some proof of concepts relatively quickly when we kind of put when we really want to do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, I remember you telling us about the Credo points when you came out to visit us on site about a month ago. So really appreciate you taking the time and offering some insight and answering some of the questions from the audience. So really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks. Thanks all.
Thanks, Beth. And next up, I'll pass it over to Robbie, who will take it away for the second portion of the event.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. And really thank you everyone else for joining us today. And honestly, special thanks to Beth that was just an amazing presentation. And thank you for taking the time to answer so many questions. I'm sure that was appreciated by everyone here. But to introduce myself, my name is Robbie Kuhn Anda, and I'm a program manager here at Plug and Play. And honestly, I'm just thrilled to have you all here with us. And before we kick off some of our startup presentations, I want to just take a quick moment to run over some housekeeping items. So if at any point through the presentations today you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your window or throw up a question in chat if you do have one. And furthermore, you can give any kind of general questions or comments throughout the presentations as well in the general chat. Finally, I do ask that everyone remain muted unless you are actively presenting. So we are happy to continue this event by featuring some exciting companies that really all focus on customer experience. So we have presentations from Dreams, from Personetics, and from Lumua, and they will all be presenting for up to 8 minutes. If you are interested in connecting with any of the presenting startups, you can request a meeting by answering a poll that will follow each of the presentations. If you do happen to miss out on the polls though, don't fret. You can actually email me directly or email me even at a later date, and I can make sure to set up some of those meetings for you. But without further ado, I'm excited to jump into some of our startup presentations. The first company that we'll be presenting is Dreams. Dreams is a part of the actual ongoing 14th batch of our FinTech program. They offer an engagement banking platform that uses science to boost customer engagement and financial well-being. I present to you Dreams.
Hi everyone, thank you for having us. My name is Hedvig Ahlgren and I'm an account executive at Dreams, an engagement banking platform fueled by science. I'm here today to tell you about how we are delivering second-to-none customer experiences for banks and financial institutions to meet the needs of tomorrow. It doesn't come to a surprise to anyone that consumers nowadays are struggling with their finances. 75% of all millennials mention money as their top stress source. Looking on the other side, PFMs and financial literacy solutions have been on the rise for a couple of years and have yet not been quite successful, with low adaptation rates and poor results. This is because they ignore how the human mind works and neglect the emotional power fueling our decision making. Dreams offers the first engagement banking platform worldwide that solves this exact problem. We've been collaborating with major universities for the last 8 years in order to integrate insights from psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral economics for maximum effectiveness in our solution. At the core is a scientific method that we developed with leading researchers from Harvard, UCLA, and University of Toronto, to mention a few. And our scientific method revolves around two key principles. So first and foremost, Dreams makes it easy to pay off debt, save, and invest money. Instead of overwhelming the customer with advice on what they should do, we lower the barrier for engagement and we automate actions to make personal finance management as convenient as commuting in a self-driving car. But we also go beyond just making it convenient, as the second core principle is leveraging emotion to motivate action and help people to get better at managing their finances. This is by science proven to be more effective to get people to do anything compared to just feeding them with information. For example, we all know that exercise is good for us, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're all fit or go to the gym as often as we know we should. As Dream generates emotional and active kind of engagement, it allows us to motivate lasting behavior change that goes beyond the interaction with the app. And by combining automation together with emotion, we have designed a unique solution that is highly effective, both in boosting customer engagement as well as financial well-being. And it all starts with a dream. Instead of talking about, for example, goal-based savings or overwhelming you with information about what you should do, we rather ask the customers what they dream about. By defining where their money is going and when in time, and maybe with a picture, it's instantly emotional and harder to neglect or leave. After that, they pick what we call save hacks. And save hacks are automated programs that help the customer to reach their dreams in time. It could be, for example, a weekly fee that is withdrawn from your home account, or it can challenge a behavior to help the customer to find money they didn't think they have. For example, what if you would skip the morning coffee you buy out each morning and rather save $20 for that trip you really wanted to go to, or maybe to pay back debt? And further, knowing your customer like this opens up the possibility to collect valuable data that enables insight-driven business for real. Looking at our metrics, we are proud to say that users that have dreams, we can track 15 more engagements per month. On average, a Dream users also save $2,000 more per year than without Dreams. And 2 out of 3 mention that they feel less stressed about money only after 2 months of usage. 79% of those who use Dreams are millennials, and 69% are women, a target group which banks struggle to connect and engage with. And last but not least, 27% of all dreams are long-term and 3% debt-related, meaning a solid opportunity for offering investments and debt consolidation for a great up and cross-sell. Dreams is originally a B2C business where we've been live for the last 5 years in our home market, Sweden and Norway, where we're currently serving 500,000 users. And by popular demand, we have now released our B2B offer, where we offer banks and financial institutions our solution as a white label to be easily embedded in existing digital platforms. We're trusted by global banks and are also acknowledged as thought leaders within customer engagement and financial well-being by Forrester. Last but not least, our team consists of 85 great individuals coming from both larger consumer brands, financial institutions, and banks. We have our headquarters in Stockholm, but are also located in Oslo and Berlin. And we believe by fully understanding customers and their behaviors and emotions, real change and engagement can happen. And we're looking forward to turn PFMs into something that actually makes sense. And by doing so and helping the customers throughout their life, being part of shaping the future of customer engagement in the financial sector. Thank you so much for listening and once again for having us. If you would be further interested in talking to us, please feel free to drop us an email or even ping me here in the chat. Thank you so much.
There should be a poll that is popping up on your screen at this time. If you are interested in connecting with Dreams, you can also signify that you are interested in that poll as well. All right. You may recognize our next company, Personetics, as the one that was actually mentioned by Beth during her keynote. Personetics provides AI-based personalized customer engagement platform and solutions for financial services. I present to you Personetics.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm Dorel Blix. I'm VP Strategy and Business Development at Personetics. And today we are going to share our view of how to redefine the customer experience in fintech. So a little bit about Personetics. We are a global category leader in financial data-driven personalization and customer engagement for financial services. As a company, we are 11 years old and backed by some of the world's largest VCs like Sequoia and Lightspeed from Silicon Valley, and ICA Partners from New York, and Warburg Pincus, a private equity firm. We also have 2 banks as investors. We are serving today over 70 banks globally in over 30 different markets, and helping banks to leverage their biggest asset, which is their own customers' financial transactional data, in order to quickly drive a significant business impact and market differentiation. We provide a white label personalized customer engagement platform and helping banks to move from a very transactional, passive relationship with their customers into a smart, proactive, financial data-driven approach. And by doing so, to better sell and to better service their own customers. On the other side, we're also helping the end customers, people like you and me, to better manage their financial life, to stay on top of their finance and to increase their financial wellness, their financial resilience. As you can see here, working with some of the world's largest banks, including some of the leading banks all over North America, and we are focusing on self-driving finance, how we can really help banks to fulfill their customers' expectations and their social contract with their customers, and to even proactively act on behalf of their customers to better monetize the relationship value. So data-driven personalization is really becoming the battleground for banks all over the world, with, of course, different competitors coming from different places. If it can be trillion-dollar nationals, wealth and insurance companies that are also using the power of open banking and open finance, neobanks and fintechs and retailers and big techs, and all of them are really trying to win the customers by putting personalization and engagement at the center of what they do, including to increase the usage of different products and services. So data-driven personalization is really all about transforming the customer's interactions from passive to proactive to smart to financial data-driven relationship, and really the ability to anticipate customers' needs, delivering proactive day-to-day insights, alerts, recommendations, automated services, and product-based advice when the time is right, and helping customers with their finance. Our vision in the market around self-driving finance is really how to start to help banks with their own data, with the same financial transactional data that they are providing their customers on a day-to-day. How to truly analyze that, aggregate that, categorize that, understand customers' predictions, predictive analytics, using cash flow predictions, using anomalies and patterns and other analytical models to truly provide a one holistic, aggregated view of the customer's financial behavior. Small business, retail customers, wealth management customers, and so on and so forth. And then how to help banks to execute against that by providing a real-time, hyper-personalized, meaningful insights, alerts, recommendations, product-based advice, and other capabilities to their customers to increase their engagements and trust and to help them with their day-to-day finance. How to combine that with the product catalog of the bank, how to provide even an automated, self-adjustable financial wellness programs, and helping customers to regain trust and to increase their ability to manage their finance. We provide as Personetics a quite robust and comprehensive platform that truly enables a quick agility and differentiation for banks with our white label platform. We are providing a deep data level of enrichment and services for banks to truly understand their customers' financial behavior on the customer level, on the bank level. We are providing a set of services and capabilities that are able to quickly engage with customers. As an example, we provide a catalog of over 300 out of the box, fully tested and verified, personalized day-to-day banking insights, alerts and recommendation, and even a set of engagement builder tools. These are an automated, codeless creation and management console that gives a full control for the banks to modify the experience, to create new capabilities, and to redefine their proposition in the market. And of course, even a set of automated wellness programs and open finance integrators or connectors. I can show you some examples from global banks. This is UOB, the third largest bank from Southeast Asia, and we help this huge bank to completely transform the way that the bank is proactive and smartly looking out for its customers, providing meaningful, personalized interactions that really drives a quick and significant business impact, including push notifications before the customer is logging in or after, complete multi-channel proposition in different channels, different segments to reach these great business impact numbers on the left. Another great example from Australia, MyState Bank, and this is a great combination of day-to-day personalized insights with a set of automated savings programs, helping customers to automatically save for the future. They don't need to set up a goal or threshold or time limit, and our analytical models are able to automatically identify pockets of money and save them when the time is right with variable amounts of money. A great example from Canada, RBC, the largest bank in Canada, and we've implemented 5 different business solutions helping their customers to automatically regain trust and to automatically save for the future, to better understand their finance, to create virtual budgets, even small business proposition, and even a chatbot, and drive the highest level of impact, of engagements and trust with their customers. This is from the US, Huntington Bank, one of the biggest regional banks, and we've helped them to become the first #1 among the regional banks by JD Power for the, I think, 3 years in a row, providing a deep level of personalized insights and alerts, including the push notifications and automated savings program, and helping customers to better understand their finance and to stay on top of that. And again, increasing financial wellness and resilience in a seamless, proactive, almost frictionless capabilities between the banks and their clients. And maybe one of the last example from Ally Bank, a large digital bank in the US, highlighting Personetics platform, including open banking capabilities to help customers to automatically save for the future, including connecting external bank accounts, and by automatically finding these pockets of money, moving them into higher yield saving account, completely automated, completely self-adjustable. So as Personetics, we are helping banks all over the world to move from this passive transactional relationship into smart, proactive, financial data-driven, to increase the customer experience, to help banks to reach the highest level of lifetime value with their customers, to increase their relationship into a smart, relevant capabilities, and to stay in the center of their customers' financial life. We are really proud of our ability to quickly drive a significant and measurable business impact from customer engagements into account and balance growth, digital sales growth, retention, conversion rates, of course, and customer experience. And we are able to touch the customers on different levels, on different use cases, from wealth management customers to small business to retail customers, even card holders with different propositions and different capabilities. Thank you for listening to me, and more than happy to take any questions and stay in touch with all of you.
There should be a poll on your screen at this time. Please use that poll to let us know if you are interested in meeting with Personetics at some point in time following this meeting. And our final company that will be presenting today is Lumoa. Lumoa makes customer and employee feedback actionable. Their online service brings all voices of customer into one view, and by AI-based text analytics helps companies to identify what drives their KPIs up and down, and to act on them. I present to you Lumoa.
Hello, my name is Taru Aalto. I'm head of partnerships at Lumoa, a customer insights platform. Lumoa enables every employee in every organization, whether you are working with the product, whether you're working with marketing, customer support, or at the top of the company, to make the right decisions based on the voice of the customer. I'm going to start with one slide and then going into the demo. Lumoa's customer insights platform makes it easy for you to get an understanding on how you are doing in the eyes of customers and take the right actions to improve your customer satisfaction. Lumoa brings together all voices of customer, whether it is NPS or CSAT surveys, whether it's market research, whether it's online or app reviews, or if it's conversations such as customer support calls and chat conversations. Lumoa's tool also then eliminates all manual work going into analyzing that feedback and turns it into actionable format so that you can actually understand what is driving your customer satisfaction up and down and by how much. We also support more than 60 languages in doing this and help you actually take action based on the insights. We also believe that in order for you to become very customer-centric, every employee should have access to customer insights. That's why Lumoa's licenses always include unlimited user licenses, and you can easily customize what data an individual or team or the top management has access to. But I understand seeing is believing, so next I'm going to move actually into showing you a demo of Lumoa. Here you see an example of Lumoa dashboard, where you can bring any type of voice of customer and customer feedback that you would like. I have here example from NPS. I have app reviews. I could have also other online reviews. I have call and chat conversations and any different kind of market research. If I look at the NPS, which is an example from the banking industry, in the center of the card, you actually see the score, which is 57.8. And underneath that, you see the 3 most important things that are driving and impacting your score. So let's click the card open and look at more specifically what's inside it. So again, you see the score and then you see the trend line. But then underneath this is where the actual Lumoa magic happens. So what happens when you kind of plug in Lumoa is that the AI will automatically go through the open text feedback and categorize it. And for example, here you see that technical quality is currently pulling down your NPS score by 13.7 points. Thus, by fixing those issues, you can improve your NPS score by 13.7. You can further notice the stability box and freezes are pulling your score down 7.6 points. So what does this actually mean? Let's go into detail. You click that and you actually notice the comments that people are talking about when they're talking about issues. And you notice that app crashes seem to be a topic. You scroll down and you see all the feedback related to app crashes. You open the feedback and you notice that actually our system will split each feedback into different parts, analyze whether they are neutral or negative or positive, and also map them into different subtopics such as alerts and alarms and stability bugs and freezes in this case. Also, so this was a very easy way for you to kind of go deeper into understanding what are the root causes of the problems you have. You can then assign every feedback to different people. You can click here and decide to kind of add notes and assign it to specific people so that they are alerted that there's something relevant for them. You can also have an unlimited number of background variables. These can come from your CRM system, from your surveying solution or anything, so that you can then easily filter any data. Let's say if you just want to see data related to United States, you can then create these as cards and build individual platforms for people, teams, or on kind of a personal level. Another feature that our customers really love is the comparison view. Let's say that you want to evaluate how your bank is doing across different continents or in different countries or different units. You can easily look into that and compare the categories there. You can also look at trends. Let's say that you're introducing a new product, you're introducing a new marketing campaign or customer support topics or kind of changes. You can see how that is impacting your score and in different aspects. And in the events view, you can then automatically create different kind of events. So let's say that there is feedback that you want to kind of always be alerted when there is someone talking about cards in the United States and it's negative feedback, you can then automatically get alerted from this feedback. So very, very easy. And then you can manage these actions because we want to support you in taking action as well. So that was a really kind of brief overview of Lumo, a customer insight management platform that brings all the voices of customer on one view, helps you take action and improve your customer satisfaction. My name is Taru Aalto. I'm head of partnerships at Lumo. Feel free to get in touch if you have any questions or would like to learn more.
All right. You should see the poll on your screen at this time. Use this moment to fill out whether you are interested in meeting with Lumo at a later date. All right. So thank you to Dream, Personetics, and Lumo for your presentations. And also thank you again to Beth as well as Citizens Bank for the incredibly informative keynote, and again for taking the time to answer so many wonderful questions. And here at Plug and Play, we do always have exciting events happening, so be sure to follow us on social media so you can really keep up to date with what's going on. As you can see on your screen right now, at 9 a.m. Pacific on November 11th, we will be holding our FinTech Expo at the Winter Summit. You can actually register the event by scanning the QR code that is on your screen right now. And then finally, if anyone attending today wishes to be connected with the companies, but you missed out on a chance to fill out the polls to let us know, please feel free to email me directly on the email that's on screen, and I'll be able to make sure that that connection happens at a later time. Finally, there should be a poll that's on your screen right now that just lets us know how you think that we're doing. So if you would please fill that out, we would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, I do hope to see each and every one of you at our Winter Summit, and I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.